Hello everyone, this is JohnCenaVEVO. Today I'm gonna do something very different from what I usually do, which is a sort of let's play, long play kind of thing. And first of all, we're gonna put in our name, which is gonna be a school shooter. Yeah, that's gonna be, yeah, that's the name. Okay, yeah, this game is Police Quest SWAT. This is the 5th in the Police Quest series, although it is not officially a part of the Police Quest series. The game still kind of refers it as such, in terms of the fact that the game files internally still call themselves SWAT 5, or Police Quest 5 rather. I imagine a lot of people already know what Police Quest is, or what SWAT is. Not like not the actual unit, but the video game. A lot of people are going to be fun with SWAT 3 or SWAT 4, which both are shooters. But this wasn't typical for the SWAT series, let's say, because the first game, this game started out as a sort of cinematic point-and-click kind of interactive movie about, you know, SWAT missions. Yeah, the second game in the series actually then switched over to an isometric strategy game in the vein of Commandos. Yeah, you control a unit of 6 people, I think, actually, and you have a lot of missions to choose from, and basically just play through. You know, you control the single unit. You got a lot of typical SWAT-like elements into it, like breaching doors and, you know, rescuing hostages and everything. This also, or like, well, Police or SWAT 2 featured a mode where you can actually play the terrorists, which is an interesting idea. But currently we're playing SWAT 1, so that is not a thing going on with the game. What these two people there in the foreground are doing is just kind of give you an introduction to the game. You join in as the new guy in the SWAT team, so they're just kind of giving you the introduction to what SWAT is about, or what is this unit and everything. They will also refer you as the SWAT pup in the game, which in my opinion is a great idea because your name really stands out within the entire game storyline kind of thing, because there is no name that would closely resemble your name, so it is not even a problem to, or well, it's not a big of an issue if you don't remember the names of the people in your team. So yeah, I don't know, I like that approach. Everything else about this game is just kind of like, no, it is not good. It is, you know, this is a typical FMV game, and it's made by Sierra, so you can kind of expect that this game's not going to go really well, or that it is not going to be a lot of fun. So yeah, the first thing we got to do here is actually exit this classroom and go over to the training range, because before we can actually attend any of the missions, we have to do a small arms range training.
Heads up, gentlemen. We have a new member in the element. Until formal introductions can be made, you may refer to him as the SWAT pup. Welcome aboard, officer.
Yeah, you can see they really treat this as serious as possible. The majority of people in this game are actually actors. There's a couple of people who are actual officers in SWAT, which I find really nice of them. That, like, you know, they volunteered to actually do this. Then again, this is kind of like, okay, come on. We gotta switch over to the MP5, put the mag in, put this on semi-auto, and now wait for him to instruct us to what to do.
Come to your guard. 2 shots to center mass, semi-auto. 2 shots to center mass, semi-auto. On the whistle.
But yeah, this is not particularly interesting to say the least, because effectively it's just kind of like point and you click. There is nothing to learn about, really, aside from trying to immerse the player in an actual kind of like police academy kind of thing.
Failure drill. 2 shots to the body, 1 to the
There
head.
is also a sniper range which I'm gonna showcase soon.
Single to the head.
Right now I just kind of have to do this thing until he tells us to actually drop the weapon, or like, you know, lower the weapon, put it away. Which at that point the game registers as you beat the weapons range, you can actually go to the first mission. I'm gonna try to get to the first mission as quick as possible, so I'm just gonna delay the sniper training up to after the first mission, which is a handful. I mean, like, they had really great ideas on how to actually make the sniping also kind of realistic, with, like, you know, windage adjustments and bullet drop and everything. Cool idea. It just boils down to point and click, as everything in this game. Yeah, we kind of have to continue this for a little bit more. Come on, can I move? Okay, thank you. Yeah, this game runs on the SCI2 engine by Sierra. This was developed around... Well, this game came out in 95, but this was developed around, like, I don't know, 94, 95, something like that. Games that also ran on the SI2 engine were Phantasmagoria 1, for example. The advantages of this over the previous SCI engines were the 32-bit color. You can actually... It looks decent. You know, for a full motion video game, this looks fairly decent, seeing how this game came on 4 CDs, which is not a whole lot if you compare it to like games like Gabriel Knight 2, which came on 8 CDs. Then again, that game was also 7 hours long, but yeah, this engine features 32-bit, and also, oh, thank you. Oh my god. Safe from this asshole. Let's go back to travel map and do the assaulter briefing. The tactics training, yeah. Yeah, this game also features 480p high resolution rendering. This is upscaled to 720p at the moment, so everything is going to be a little more grainy or a little more pixely than it used to be. But I hope that's not big of an issue. I mean, after all, it's going to be on YouTube. The bitrate is going to be awful anyways. Yeah, this scene right here, this is interesting. I'm just going to click on him so he asks a couple of questions and everything. This is something they should have absolutely kept in further games in the series. I can't recall that ever to be a thing in SWAT 3 and SWAT 4, because he talks a lot about tactics and how to approach a situation and how to give callouts for certain areas, which he's going to do later on, just in a couple of moments actually. This is something really, really important you would have in a first-person shooter that is in a tactical environment, especially in an environment where, unlike Rainbow Six, you actually try to apprehend a suspect without actually killing them. And, yeah, this is, I kind of missed this from SWAT 3 and SWAT 4. It's interesting that it's in here, but it's absolutely useless to yourself, to the player, because you are never going to employ any of these tactics ever within the game. I'm going to click on him so it keeps on talking. There we go. This is the communication kind of thing. I actually am going to shut up for a moment.
Agreed upon terminology exists in this organization, and I expect all of you to understand and utilize this terminology. When observing and relaying information concerning a structure, you will refer to it by numbers, not geographical designations. The front of the building is always side 1. Moving clockwise, the numbers increase, 2, 3, 4, etc. Corners are referred to by their intersecting sides. In the example I have here, you can see the bottom left corner is referred to as the 1-2 corner. So remember, the front of the building is always side 1, and you move clockwise and number accordingly. Now here we have a 4-story building. The concept of numbering still applies. Numbers are assigned to all openings and all levels. Each opening is numbered, beginning from the left to the right, bottom to the top. Each level is numbered from the bottom up. Consequently, looking at the example here, the door would be referred to as level 1, opening 2. If you have suspect information to relay, you will do so by using this technique. Is that clear? Over 60%.
Yeah, you're never gonna actually employ this within the video game, except for maybe once. Actually, yeah, one time you actually use it, which is the very first mission we're gonna do. In case you actually get one of the variations. Yeah, this is about the variations I wanted to talk about. SWAT 3 and SWAT 4 had that obvious, where no mission was ever the same, no matter how many times we played it. That could mean that the suspect could actually already be right in front of the front door you're trying to enter, or that could mean that there's multiple shooters instead of just one. That could also mean that the shooter is just, there's just one shooter and like, none of the apparent hostages that should have been there. In this case, the game only gives you the main mission, you could say, and then at least one variation of it. The last mission only has the original path, and then there's the path you could choose as a sniper. The second mission, actually, yeah, the second mission also has only 2 ways you could complete it, and the third mission kind of has like 3 ways you could complete it. If you were to be the entry team yourself, you know, the front entry team, or if you were to be backwatch, and then there could be like she's right around the corner, or she's in the backyard. Yeah, there is not a whole lot going on in this game. You might have already noticed I only said there's only 3 missions. Yeah, this game is short when it comes down to sole mission time, or like the time you actually spend on gameplay. The majority of the time for this game is spent on waiting for the missions to actually happen. So I'm actually gonna cut that out as much as possible, because I don't think it's really enjoyable to just sit there for like maybe 30 minutes and wait for the next mission, and then it turns out it's a repetition of the mission you just played. Yeah, there's a thing the game tries not to pad the gameplay out with. They just present you the same mission twice or 3 times over, and it's annoying. Sometimes it feels like there's a loop going on. It's not really great in doing that. Yeah, this game was released in 1995. Like a lot of these games, these games were a flop at that time. The full motion video trend was a thing since like late 80s, early 90s. It started out with, I would say, probably Dragon Slayer in the arcades, and then later on it catched on to PC when there was CD technology available for them. So I think one of the first games that got really successful in terms of full motion video gameplay was Mad Dog McGee. There's videos of it. It is hilariously bad. And another one would be Night Trap. Night Trap even made it to consoles. There was like the Sega CD version and the PC version. Both of them actually pretty okay. And yeah, I would say that the most successful one of like actual full motion video story driven video games would be Seventh Guest. That one had a rather large budget, and yeah, it is definitely out there. This, just like many Sierra games at that time, wasn't exactly successful. It took nearly
before the
5
entry team is ready
years
to make
for
an
the next
arrest.
game to come
Or,
out,
if the sniper misses his shot, mission
which
is compromised.
being
Alert others of the
SWAT 2.
compromise by broadcasting the word compromise.
I guess you can already tell
Any
this
questions?
game wasn't a big of a success then. Yeah, the only thing it really has of value to it is that it really tries to encapsulate the entire SWAT feeling. It actually has so much background information that if you were to look up articles about the SWAT, and especially the D Platoon LAPD, you would find a lot of websites that would quote directly out of the game information about the LAPD or the LAPD SWAT team. I would imagine that there's just that much research they've done prior to making this game that just kind of like led to this being a very reliable source of information towards the SWAT. Even after this is over, and we don't actually get the next mission, because usually it's like you attend this training or this kind of training. The mission starts immediately, but there on the blackboard it changes to like a list of things. You can click them, and there's like videos and audio files, and just plain articles about the SWAT. I'm gonna show that later on after he's over talking and we actually finished that first mission. Thing going on with why I'm not skipping a lot of things very soon, you'll see actually, is either because you cannot skip them. There's a lot of things you cannot skip the first time by. The other thing would be if you were to skip something, and that is and you're really unlucky, they're gonna scold you for trying to skip something they're trying to tell you. Neat idea, but it's really annoying me. Yeah, this is... He's gonna make a joke.
Sometimes in the heat of the moment, it's tempting to add an additional middle finger into our repertoire.
Yeah,
but
that was really funny.
I would ask you to curb that temptation and behave professionally.
Yeah, since we're kind of done with this for now, I'm really hoping we get to be on the mission very soon. Yes, perfect. This always works out.
Barricaded female, North Hollywood area.
Okay, here we go. We can actually get
West
to
Avenue. Shots
proper
fired,
gameplay
03.
now, which will first be put on hold in a moment because we actually have to ask out witnesses or people affiliated with the suspect.
Please pick up the telephone and talk with me.
It's my wife, Lucy. Lucy Long.
I'm not very sure about the guy on the left, by the way. I think he's actually also seen in Phantasmagoria 1.
She's been mixed up a lot lately.
Either that or Gabriel Knight 2. I'm not very sure, but I am certain I've seen this person.
My
Not
mom's
that guy.
always been real
He's
protective of our family, but it's different now.
I think he's
It's
actual.
like
He's
she's
an
not
actual
just
officer, I
protective.
think.
She's angry or paranoid or something. I don't know what. I think she's become dangerous. She has a gun now, and she shot at me and my dad this morning.
That's right. And she damn near killed us, too. See, yesterday, she threw me out of the house, hollering she weren't going to let me back in. She locked all the doors. Neighbors across the street were looking. So I walked down to Katie's. She just lives in the apartments over on Marola. So I spent the night there. This morning, Katie brung me back home. We was walking up to the house, and Lucy started shooting at us. That's when I called the police.
I understand, sir. We'd like for your wife to come out on her own so we can get her some help. But if she won't, and the possibility exists she might
Still
hurt
no
herself,
gameplay yet. We gotta
we
wait.
might have to go in and get her.
As I said, this is very much of a movie or an interactive movie rather than a proper game. There's a lot of fuck yous in this game, a lot of them. I mean, there were a lot of them in Sierra games in general. I'm not sure if that was made to kind of stretch out the gameplay, or that was just kind of like, you know, bad game design overall. Here, thank you. Thank you, I'm gonna move very soon. But yeah, there's a lot of fuck you, so you gotta do every mission just like how they want you to, and we're gonna talk to this guy now.
Hello, you must be the neighbor.
Yes, I'm Mr. Devon.
I've been living across from the lawns for the last 10 years. When I first moved in, they were real nice. Showed me and my wife the neighborhood. Yeah, hadn't been the same in the last few years. You know the wife, Lucy? She beats that old man real bad, all day long. You cops been out here. I'm getting to know you guys on a first-name basis.
Yeah, okay. They all have multiple things to say. There's like three things that neighbor has to say.
Not in a long time.
The thing going on with this is that I think they had chosen poor actors, but at the same time convincing actors. These people really tried to deliver the fact that they're everyday normal people. I think they actually told them to just, you know, be yourself.
What can you tell me about what
because, I don't know, he looks friendly, doesn't he? And he's just the friendly neighbor. He's playing the friendly neighbor. He's just kind of honest, you know. There's also people who are less helpful because they're kind of like distressed, or there's people who you can see they're like completely thrown off by the entire situation, or there's people who are completely not into what is going on, or like it is quite something. I like that. It really adds something to the game.
Is there anything else you can tell me, Mr. Devine?
Don't believe the old man. He'll tell you that his missus is holed up in that house. Won't come out. That's not the truth. I've seen her wandering around the yard in all times of the night and day. Half the time in some old nightgown.
So yeah, another thing in terms of technical aspect, I think this game kind of like in the background always runs on a timer, where if you do something, the game's kind of halting that, and if you don't do something, or if you're just like kind of like sitting around idling, you're not talking to anyone, the timer runs down. But I think you can actually speed it up by walking over to the SWAT van, which is, by the way, just a picture. I would have imagined much more to be there than just, you know, a really low-res 240p picture of the inside of the van. Okay, there we go, the briefing. That's what I wanted to accelerate.
The situation as we know it is this. We have a barricaded white female inside the residence. She's 64 years old and she suffers from various health maladies. She's diabetic and she suffers from a heart condition that requires the use of medication. CNT tells me she's delusional. She thinks the activity outside the house are gangbangers trying to break in. She's a shooter. Approach knowing she's armed and dangerous. This is the layout of the house. On side 1, we have a front door entrance. This is a dangerous approach as it has 2 windows to contend with.
As usual, they're only showing you like in this time just chalkboard images of like what the house is going to be like. This kind of also adds to the kind of immersion of you being a SWAT officer. You're out in the field, you don't have a blueprint of the entire house, you won't be able to tell what on earth is going on inside. Really interesting idea. By the way, we're gonna be rear guard in this case, because we have the MP5.
Consist of the following: Rhea, Scout; Denton, rear guard; Packmeyer, element lead. For rear containment, side 3, Pup and Wixel. Any questions?
Yeah, there we go. Okay, so since we're rear guard, things can go either wrong or very wrong. I'm just gonna hold on to these people who are finally done idling. There we go.
Sounds like the fat's in the fire. Line up for deployment. Let's go.
All the time the game just kind of scolds you with not being fast enough or being too fast. You gotta really be on point with everything, and they don't tell you a lot, which is also annoying because look at this perspective. The game often tells you you are in first person, this is what you see currently. First of all, we should actually click the slice pie thing so we can switch through the right mouse button. Nice. Okay, here's the thing with the way you see things. Okay, that's clear on that corner. Gotta click clear and then on that corner.
Move with caution.
and then we slice pie on that corner, which, by the way, slicing pie is, you know, I think I talked over that, but basically it's just kind of like you stand, you try to, you angle your way around the corner. Nothing really fancy, so we can't see anything. This gate is locked. You won't be able to tell that because, you know, you click on things, nothing happens. And at some point they actually talk to you over the radio and ask what on earth is going on. So what we have to do is just site 1-2, by the way, which is kind of weird because the site 1-2 should be behind us, around there. And we should be on this, which is site 2, right? So we want a ram on site 1-2.
Ram on 1-2 corner.
Which is the correct thing to say. Now here comes, I think that is our character. Now he checks the door. I'm hoping at least. Yeah, there we go. This is ridiculously dangerous in my opinion, because what if there's the person right behind that thing, you know? Yeah, there's gonna be a perspective thing going on very soon. I really like this scene. It's just going on so slow. But yeah, with the last radio, you click something wrong, you can't uncheck that most of the time. And if you clicked something wrong, I think it's Pagmeyer or someone, you know, the guy who's element lead or your boss basically, he will scold you, and a lot of the times it will completely ruin the mission because there is going to be a guy shooting from somewhere where your team was already, like, oh, in this case it was first person, right? He showed us like all clear, so that would be us currently now standing right around the corner in the line of fire, in the possible line of fire. So I say cover, clear. And we gonna slice the pie around that, and now use the mirror again. Then the suspect thing. Then, I don't know, cover me, and clear. And we slice the pie around again, and there's the suspect.
Is she armed?
This is the police. We're here to help.
There we go. We finished that mission. It is really wonky because here's the thing. Now our boss is gonna scold us for not following the order of covering. I don't understand it. Here. I don't actually understand how you're supposed to finish that up, because she's unarmed, you go around that corner, you tell them there's the suspect, they ask if is she armed, you cannot reply to is she armed, yes or no.
These are tools you need to do your job successfully. They should be second nature to you. Miscommunication in the field can get you, other officers, victims, suspects killed. You following me? Yes, sir. All right.
But yeah, we finished that. They ask us if we want to replay that. I'm gonna say no. And we will go to the long rifle range now. Yeah, we can now look at the shooting of sniper rifles.
Yeah, I'm interested in learning to shoot. That's great.
I need to remind everyone this is 1995. People weren't really particularly interested in guns at that point, except for like a few people. So what this game presents to you is very interesting. Not only is it that
45 caliber 1911 government model sidearm.
They tell you this, it is also something that he's gonna explain very soon. So first of all, kind of gives us like the introduction. Here's the sergeant. Look, he's a modest person, you know, blah blah blah. You tell him, hi, I'm here, and they tell you, well, you can go down there.
Sergeant Pruitt, this is... Yes, I know Rooker's new man. How are you, officer? Adjusting to D platoon, are you?
At least he seems nice, you know.
Good. It would appear you have an interest in the science of sharpshooting. Why don't you let Saunders familiarize you with the SR-60? By the time you get set up, the rest of our sharpshooters should be here, and we can begin our training drills.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, now here again something with just, you know, the way this game tries to give you
I don't know how
information.
much you know about sniping, but I'm going to begin with the basics. This is a Robar SR-60 308 bolt-action rifle. Here at LAPD, we zero our rifles at 100 yards. We always begin with a cold barrel shot. We use a cold barrel shot to establish our zero. It's also the most important shot out in the field. Now, first thing you're going to want to do is establish your zero on this rifle. You do that because it's new to you, it hasn't been used in a while. To do that, you want to get out your dope book. You want to establish the date, the time of day, wind direction, the direction of light, temperature. Also, verify your ammo lot. You'll need to consult the charts in your dope book for any elevation or windage adjustments needed in order to make your 100-yard cold barrel shot and establish your zero. Now I'm going to load a single round for your cold barrel shot. You reload when you're ready to shoot your first group of 5. Now I'll be over here functioning as your spotter. I'll answer any questions you may have. Remember, your cold barrel shot will be taken at 100 yards and you need to shoot a minute of angle. In layman's terms, you're going to want to place a shot in a 1-inch square at 100 yards. Target's already set up for you.
Okay, yeah, he's not gonna answer any questions we're gonna ask because there's nothing we can really ask about.